The Crosstown Classic between Oxford and Lafayette was this weekend, and there you see Lafayette come up big with the touchdown to the back of the end zone, and we will have more of that later in the show for you. Welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm Kelsey Davis, and joining me is Fred Nettles and Nick Dunavant. Y'all, are you ready for Bama Week?
Oh yeah, howdy baby.
All right, well, before we can get into all of the college football, there was some high school football this past week. The Crosstown Classic was this weekend. Let's roll those highlights. Now, as I said, this is the Crosstown Classic between Oxford and Lafayette. These two teams are coming out of the tunnel absolutely pumped about this rivalry.
Lafayette looks to end their 4-game losing streak in this rivalry series against Oxford.
Oh yeah, here we have 3-star cornerback Devin Rocket for Ole Miss.
Now, Jamarcus Quarles absolutely had a night. Here you see him make that touchdown run easy to the back of the end zone.
Right up the middle, that's just too easy for Quarles.
Oh yeah, and as you can see here, the Oxford defensive coach is not happy with his defensive team right now. So let's hope they get things ready for the second half.
Trying to get his defense right, but it's not working out for Oxford. There's a giant hole as Quarles absolutely takes off again down the field. He's going all the way for a 72-yard touchdown run.
It's almost as if Oxford is letting him score, and even if they try to stop him, here you see Quarles just runs over defender, and he'll go all the way down to the 4-yard line before he gets tackled out of bounds.
Oh yeah, he almost has 3 touchdowns on the night, and they end up scoring on the following play.
Now here is Will Ard, and he goes to the back of the end zone to Brandon Turnage for another touchdown. The Commodores could not be stopped. 23-3 for Lafayette. That is their first win in 5 years. Let's go to the post-game report with Max McCann.
Welcome to the Rebel Watch post-game report, Crosstown Classic Edition. Lafayette came out on top tonight, winning 23-3. I'm here with Jamarcus Quarles, who had 2 touchdowns on the night. Jamarcus, this is your first win over Oxford since you've been in high school. How big of a win is this for you and your team?
This is a major win. All of our boys clicked on all cylinders, and we came out with the win. We came out on top. We executed on each play, and we came in on each drive.
All right, so y'all obviously had a great game tonight, and y'all got district coming up. What do y'all have to continue to do to keep winning moving forward?
We just got to keep executing on every play, each and every play. Keep driving the ball downfield, no negative yardage.
All right, thanks very much, man. Go celebrate. Thanks, man. All right, that'll do it for the Rebel Watch post-game report. I'm Max McCann.
Now this was Lafayette head coach Mike Fair's first season with the Commodores, and he couldn't have had a better first win. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
Tonight was my first one, and what a lot of fun it was. You know, the atmosphere was just electric all night, and I'm just really proud of our guys and how they came out and played.
Now, guys, we got to give credit where credit is due. Jamarcus Quarles absolutely had himself a game, and Lafayette did what worked against the Chargers. Fred, what do you think that was?
Kelsey, 2 words, Jamarcus Quarles. As you said earlier, the kid was the workhorse for the Lafayette Commodores on Friday night. The Oxford Chargers defensive line got absolutely destroyed by the Commodores offensive line. There were huge holes in between the tackles, and Quarles took advantage of each and every opportunity that he had.
Right, and it was pretty obvious, but, you know, let's break this down. Oxford got off to a good start. They were highly favored coming into this game, but they just couldn't seem to get it done. So what went wrong for the Chargers?
Honestly, if Oxford ever wants to win a football game again, they have to contain the running game. Lafayette was just unstoppable last night. Jamarcus Quarles had 267 rushing yards. 267 rushing yards is that's crazy. And that's just absurd to allow that many rushing yards, and the Chargers have to make some adjustments on defense.
Right, now when we come back, we'll take a look at the Rebels' win over Oxford. Keep it locked here on Rebel Watch.
One of the things that we know about reading, particularly in the K through 3 area, is that's when you are learning to read. Then we know that once you hit 3rd grade, that's when you're reading to learn.
When parents spend time with their kids, those kids tend to be more and more successful.
Being a strong reader, it impacts our state's economy, and it also ensures that our students are able to have meaningful lives.
I remember as a small boy from Moorhead, Mississippi, the rest of the world became alive when I started reading.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Reg?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
Some late guys on. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. There's the snap. Bo looking to throw. Throws the end zone. Walton. He's got it. Forget the field goal. The Rebels have a touchdown.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. The Ole Miss Rebels football team took on the Wofford Terriers here at home Saturday. Let's roll the highlights. Now, as I said, it was Ole Miss against Wofford in the home opener here. You see Chad Kelly warming up, looking to rebound from that tough loss down in Orlando against the Seminoles.
Oh yeah, here in the first quarter, we have Chad Kelly with the option route to Markel Peck for his first touchdown pass of this catch of the season.
Great play action by Kelly to find Pack in the end zone.
Now here you see Chad Kelly to the back of the end zone with DK Metcalf.
What a grab.
His second touchdown, but he breaks his foot here.
Oh yeah, here we have Carlos Davis. He's returning the kickoff. You see him here, he's eluding defenders. He's at the 10, he's at the 20, he's at the 30, he's at the 40, he's at the 50. He's out at the opposing 40-yard line, but they were going to later score in the drive.
And here we have Jason Pellery, not Shea Patterson in the game. Here's a touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. That'll be A.J. Brown's first touchdown catch of the season.
Both freshmen making it look easy, and Ole Miss takes home the win 38-13 over Wofford. Let's see what head coach Hugh Freeze had to say after the game.
Difficult week, and I thought our kids came out with an edge as far as to take control of the game early, particularly offensively. And I thought defensively we did really well early on. And then they did a few things that we hadn't seen this year on film that we had to make some adjustments to. But all in all, I thought it was a solid effort.
Nick, now, how do you think this injury, we saw DK Metcalf get hurt there on the reception and his touchdown. It's so unfortunate for a bright freshman like that to get hurt, but how do you think that's going to affect the Rebels in the receiving rotation?
You know, like you said, it was an unfortunate injury, but when it comes to wide receivers, Ole Miss actually has some depth. You know, you have plenty of guys like A.J. Brown, Stringfellow, DeMarcus Lodge, Attaboy Joe, I could go on and on, Van Jefferson. You know, so although Metcalf got hurt, it is lucky that Ole Miss has such a big core in wide receiver, and I think Ole Miss, other Ole Miss wide receivers will step up.
Now, as I was saying, Fred, we've seen some obvious strengths and weaknesses in the Rebels this first 2 weeks. How do you think they'll match up against Bama?
Kelsey, honestly, if the Rebels' offensive line, in particular, particularly the offensive tackles, if they do not get in sync, then Ole Miss's Chad Kelly is going to have a very long afternoon eluding those elite defensive linemen that are the Crimson Tide.
Right, and Nick, going into this giant game against Bama, what do you think Ole Miss's biggest concerns are?
My biggest concern is Ole Miss can be two-dimensional. We know that Ole Miss has a great passing game with Chad Kelly and a great receiving core, but can the run game make a difference? Alabama can easily defend the pass all game, but if our running backs can get some yards and get up the field, then it'll put some pressure on the Alabama defense, not only defend the pass, but the rush as well.
Right, and when we come back, we'll be joined by some of the Ole Miss rugby team. Keep it here.
true spirit of Mississippi lies in the fact that there are everyday heroes in every community. People who reach out to their neighbors in time of need, even when those needs aren't always apparent.
Regardless of their backgrounds or differences, Mississippians lead by example in their communities. In schools, churches, animal shelters, nonprofits, and through national and military service. Through our actions, we teach others, including our children.
Every Mississippian can make a difference. Please join our family and other groups across the state in a year-round pledge to invest our hearts and hands in constructive acts of service and charity.
Visit volunteermississippi.org to take the pledge.
And learn more about how you can make a difference in our great state.
Volunteer, Mississippi.
Meet Lyle. Lyle's a smart guy about to do something really dumb.
Oh, I love this game. How many words? Give me a sounds like. Do something different. I'm just not getting it.
Look, I'm no expert, but have you guys ever played charades?
Oh. Fire prevention is everyone's responsibility. Obey all burn bans. Trim overhanging tree limbs. Don't keep firewood or other fuel close to your house.
Hello, welcome back to RebelWatch. I'm Fred Nettles, and today I have with you guys the Ole Miss rugby team. I have with you guys here Mitch from Denver, Colorado, Max from Australia, and Kalen to the far right. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana. So Max, you have the first question here. Tell us more about what you guys do here at Ole Miss.
Yeah, so at Ole Miss, we're all about the mentality of it. Coming into a game, we all prepare like a rugby team. So rugby's a bit different to football, obviously. There's a bit more physicality. We call it the breakdown and in the ruck and whatnot. So it's all about preparing physically and mentally for the games. And how we do that, we practice 3 days a week here at Ole Miss. And we go around and play teams of the SEC, like Alabama and whatnot. And yeah, so it's all about that mentality and working with that.
Okay, that's great, man. Kalen, I'm going to come to you next. I see that you're from Shreveport, Louisiana. How exactly did you get into rugby?
I turned down football scholarships because I wanted to come to Ole Miss to be closer to my grandpa back home, and still wanted to play. I love contact, so I got into rugby.
Oh yeah. Lastly, Mitch, give me a little rundown of you guys' schedule. When do you play? Where do you play? You know, and the sort of teams you play, and also do you compete like in the SEC tournaments and whatnot?
Yeah, so we do compete in SEC tournaments. So obviously it's football season right now, and that's a big priority in the SEC. So we try to schedule our matches to kind of go along with the football team. So we're traveling when they are, we're at home when they are. We play all around the SEC. Even last spring we made it out to the Big 12 championships where we competed and we got 4th place. So we kind of go to the SEC and we go outside of the SEC, just kind of where the competition's at. We're trying to promote our club. We're trying to expand. The SEC's got a lot of really strong competition. There's a lot of previous high school athletes that want to play football. They can't play up here, so we try to get those guys and convert them into playing rugby. We try to follow that SEC, that tough mentality, that sports mentality, and keep it going. And we also like to take some guys from Australia and some of these foreign exchange students. That's a big part of our recruiting. We really try to diversify and get all the talent that we can because rugby's not the most popular sport down here in the South.
All right, guys. When we come back, we'll be talking about the future of Ole Miss after Bama. Keep it locked here on Rebel Watch.
things that we know about reading, particularly in the K through 3 area, is that's when you are learning to read. Then we know that once you hit 3rd grade, that's when you're reading to learn.
When parents spend time with their kids, those kids tend to be more and more successful.
Being a strong reader, it impacts our state's economy, and it also ensures that our students are able to have meaningful lives.
I remember as a small boy from Moorhead, Mississippi, the rest of the world became alive when I started reading.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Reg?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
High snap, Kelly has to collect it, makes a desperation heave into traffic. Treadwell off his hands and into the hands of Adebayo. A crazy curve and a touchdown for the Rebels. Oh my goodness. Kelly just threw it up. Treadwell had a play on it.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. Now, Ole Miss soccer opened at home with SEC play against Mizzou this past weekend. Let's take a look at those highlights. As I said, it was the conference opener between Ole Miss and Mizzou. Here you see Ole Miss has possession, but a trend of the night is they just couldn't hold on to the ball. The midfield goes to the winger, who goes right across to her forward for the Mizzou goal. It's perfectly set up.
The Ole Miss defense just can't afford careless turnovers like that in the midfield.
And here again, possession in the midfield for the Tigers, out to her winger. This time, Marnie makes the cut down on the angle, but she finds the back of the net. Goal again, Mizzou. Here we go again, as Mizzou finds this pretty much the same spot, but this time Marnie Merritt gets on the end of it, one of her saves on the 18 shots on goal of the night. Now here we have a corner kick from the Tigers. It goes across the box and finds the head of a forward into the back of the net. The Ole Miss Rebels just could do nothing to stop Mizzou, 5-0 as they lose their home opener. Let's go to postgame again with Abby McIntosh.
Mizzou tonight, and the game did not end in the way that they hoped. The Tigers had 18 shots of the night, with 5 of them actually making contact, and the Rebels had 2 yellow cards in the night, which did not help the team's morale. Tonight's 5-0 loss is the worst loss under head coach Matthew Mott since he's been here at Ole Miss. After the game, Mott and the players went straight into the locker room, not allowing any media contact. The Rebels will look to bounce back this Sunday as they take on South Alabama. Reporting for RebelWatch, I'm Abby McIntosh.
We've got a lot of sports today, and now we're going back to football. The Ole Miss football team is 1-1. If they lose to Bama, they'll start SEC play 0-1 with a 1-2 overall record. Now, it's one of our favorite parts of the show. It's debate time. With the NCAA fixing to lay the hammer down on Ole Miss, would it be wise for the Rebels to possibly self-impose a bowl ban or punishment? Kelsey, you go first.
No. I think that's a horrible idea. What are you going to look at your players and tell you, I'm sorry you sweated all through July. I'm sorry you sat here all 2 weeks of fall camp. That really, really is terrible for you, but you get no postseason. You're a senior, you're done playing, you lost 2 games against 2 top 5 teams, and now you get no postseason. I'm so sorry, but we have to think about the rest of the program and the future of the program. If I'm a player on that team, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to play for a player or any coach who will quit on me. And if I'm a recruit, I don't want to play for a coach who will quit on his players. I think if you self-impose a bowl ban, you are setting a tone and a bad example for those players who bought into you, who worked their butts off on the field for you, for this program and the reputation of the university, and then you take it all away because you lose 2 games to top 5 teams. Like, come on, get real.
That's pretty aggressive. Fred?
Nick, I completely disagree with Kelsey. Here's why. Listen, if Ole Miss, okay, they can lose to Alabama, but if they lose in back-to-back weeks against SEC foes, then they'll start the season 0-2 in the conference play.
They're not going to lose to Georgia. You have a true freshman in Jacob Eason starting.
How do we know that? How do we know that?
You have a true freshman quarterback in Jacob Eason starting for Georgia. You're not going to have
they have
a quarterback.
They have arguably the best running back in the SEC.
Let's behave.
And we have some of the best receiving corps in the SEC. They're going to match up with those corners and those safeties perfectly. Ole Miss has the advantage in that game. You're not listening to it.
All right. That's enough. So
Oh, my
I
goodness.
think if Ole Miss loses to Alabama, I see Ole Miss losing to Florida State, who's number 2 in the coaches poll. You know who's number 1? Alabama. I don't know if I can impose a bowl ban when our football team loses to the top 2 programs in the nation.
Do
So
you expect this team to win 7
I'm
out of
going
the
to
next
have to
8 games?
side with Kelsey on this.
Thank
Oh,
you.
my
So Kelsey is a winner of the debate. She had a very nice, aggressive argument.
The fans know. The fans know who won.
So congratulations, Kelsey.
We all sitting on the desk know who really won. But all right, y'all, the picks are a little tougher this week, and we got to see who y'all got. So, Fred, give it to me.
Listen, I just don't believe the Ole Miss secondary can stop the Bama offense. So I'm going to go Alabama 34, Ole Miss 24.
Nick?
I think Alabama's the most talented team in college football. I think, sadly, it's going to be another tough week for Ole Miss. I do have Ole Miss winning, but I don't see a bowl ban coming immediately after our loss.
You know, I don't see a bowl ban coming either, but unfortunately, I do see a loss. I think, you know, there's going to be 2 or 3 losses this season. I don't think Ole Miss is as talented as they were last season, but let's go with Bama 42-28. We have 5 top plays for you from this week also. Let's take a look at those. As I said, this is our top 5 plays from around Lafayette County this week, and we are going to start the countdown off with Ole Miss, who A.J. Brown finds the back of the end zone as a true freshman.
Number 4, we have Akeem Judd on this run, 30-yard line. Little whoop, juke move there. He's going to get a first down, break a couple tackles. Oh, he's not done yet, and he finally gets tackled. Great run there.
Now here we have play number 3. This Marnie Merritt save. She had a hard night against the Tigers, and this was a great save for her to keep the Rebels out of trouble.
Here at number 2, we have Chad Kelly to DK Metcalf for his second catch and second touchdown of the season. This kid is going to be great. He's just a true freshman. He's out with a foot injury right now, but let's hope he comes back stronger.
And the play of the week, we have Lafayette with this Tyler Carmichael Williams with that reception. It was a great reception. Now that's the show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at @Rebel_Watch and watch us every Monday on our new Max Out Sports Channel 31. Thank you for watching and have a good day.